Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great. Today's reading is for those of you in twin soul connections, divine soulmates, where there is a karmic element involved, all right? So I do the reading as if it is the divine masculine who has the karmic situation still in their life. But of course, it could be that it is you, it could be the divine feminine. Just take the messages as they make sense for you. I also do the reading as if it is a partner, a romantic partner, but it definitely doesn't have to be the case. It could be any other person or any situation. Now, the cards are already out because I was having some technical problems with my camera. And then I just decided to just go ahead and get the rest of the cards out because I was on a roll. I didn't want to interrupt the energy. So yeah, and I know you guys prefer for me to pull the cards on camera because that way you know it is legit. But you know, these are the messages that wanted to come through, so we're doing it this way today. And yeah, I mean, it would be crazy for me to like make this up. Like that would just be crazy. And if I were to make it up, I think I would manipulate the energies in a different way than what actually came out. And you guys do know that I don't sugarcoat, so yeah, it is what it is. And I guess the only good thing is that this video will probably be shorter, so you'll get the same information but in a shorter time span. All right, since the cards are already out. Okay, so to start off with, I got 3 oracle cards for the masculines, and what we got is regret, metamorphosis, and devotion. Okay, so they're undergoing a time period right now where there is a lot of regret, but I'm also getting a lot of grief with this when it comes to everything, pretty much everything in their whole life. I feel like it's their whole life here that they are just very sad about and wishing that they had done things differently. It is this regret though that is pushing them to change with metamorphosis towards what they are truly devoted to. Where does their heart truly belong? So it's a little bit of a difficult energy, and just everything else that came through, it's a little complicated, but I'm going to try to explain it the best way that I can. However, know that there is a metamorphosis happening. They're going to be moving from this regretful energy to one of their devotion. Okay, so for the feminines, we only got one, and it is fresh start. So the feminines are trying to have a fresh start, feeling like they want a fresh start just in general, or just trying to do things in a new way, or maybe even having new starts in other areas of your life. Okay, yeah, so it feels really weird having the cards already out. I'm not used to this, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so to start off, we are looking at the masculine's energy towards their karmic situation. And the very first card out is the 9 of Wands. So this is an energy of being very, very exhausted, feeling like they are at an end of a very long road, or almost at that end, where what I'm getting here is that they almost gave up when it comes to figuring it out and doing something about the situation. But they're not giving up, okay? And I know that because I know the continuation here. All right, we have the World in reverse and the King of Pentacles in reverse as well. So what they're doing is they are really pushing forward, trying to close out the cycle. They know that the cycle is not closed out completely with the karmic partner or with the situation. It's like there's still some loose ends that need to be tied up. There's still more, but what they're doing is that energetically, at least, they're pushing through, not having given up on closing that out. And I say that also because we have this King of Pentacles in reverse. They are not taking on that role of being the partner in this situation, or of maintaining this long-term commitment to whatever it is. All right, and that can only happen by them closing out this cycle. So that is their general energy here that is going on currently. After that, we have the 8 of Wands, the Hanging Man in reverse, and the 2 of Swords in reverse. So, okay. give me a sec, because I also clarified the Eight of Wands here. We also had the Eight of Cups come out in reverse, so I put it to the side here because it kind of came out on its own at random. So basically what I'm getting with this is that there has been a time where I feel like recently some of the masculines, they had been moving away from the karmic partner, right? Which I had been saying throughout many readings. They had been moving away, they had been detaching, but what happened was sometime recently, it's kind of like they had a little bit of a fallback. Like they went back to just either trying to make it work, trying to put in another effort, or just kind of surrendering, but not surrendering to their intuition. It was more like surrendering to the situation. This is what it is. This is, you know, I made my bed, now I have to sleep in it, kind of a thing. So there is a little bit of that still in the air is what I'm getting. But what I'm getting here with this Eight of Wands and the Hanging Man and Two of Swords in reverse is that there is communication. They are communicating after that time period of having fallen back a little bit. They are communicating with their karmic partner or whatever the situation is about the fact that this has been stagnating, about the fact that, you know, they feel like, you know, yeah, I gave in a little bit, we tried, and it's just not working, okay? Or something along those lines. Something about them not moving forward in this, that they don't see a change, that they don't see any progress in this situation. So they're having active communication about that. When I clarified the Eight of Wands, we got the Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands again, and Temperance. So the way that they are communicating about this, they're going about it in a way that is very, very practical. Like it's well thought out and it's really like grounded. I'm not seeing any anger or fights or, you know, arguments, big arguments. I'm not seeing that. Although I do kind of get that a little bit with the Two of Swords, that it may have created some tension possibly in the situation. But it's mostly coming from a place of, you know what? Like, this is just what I really want. This is how I really feel. It's just being very, very practical about it. And very balanced, okay, with Temperance. It's coming from a balanced place, which I feel is making it a little bit more effective, even for their own self, okay, than if they were to go about it from a place of anger. And then the cards just kept flying out. I was actually just trying to get one more row and I ended up getting two more rows. And we have the Five of Pentacles, the Sun in reverse, the Eight of Swords in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So they're feeling very depressed at the moment. There's a lot of depression, and I feel like it's also that regret, which is kind of hidden there. All right. Okay, with this Five of Pentacles, they're feeling the loss of what this connection used to be. So it is, for some of them, that is what is making them depressed, or a part of what is making them depressed. But it's also that they're feeling alone in this anyway. So even if they were to lose this situation, this connection, whatever it is, this commitment, so what? They're feeling alone anyway, is what I'm getting. But this is also an energy of a little bit of feeling like the victim as well. Like, can I ever find my happiness? So the reason why I said before that this is complicated is because it's kind of like it's going both ways. What do I mean? This depression has depleted their energy. And I say that also because we have the Nine of Wands as their very first card out, all right? So their energy at the moment is very, very depleted because it's been such a long journey for them, emotionally, up and down, doing different things, trying to find other alternatives for making this work or for keeping their lives comfortable, but nothing really works. And so it's getting very exhausting. And if you watched my last video, which was last week, which was not specific for karmic situations, it was just general, but it still does include those of you in karmic situations, okay? I will add the link. In that video, it was very clear that the masculines are pretty much being harassed by the universe because they keep trying different ways. They keep trying to avoid doing what they really want to do or what they need to do, or they avoid aligning, or they're just trying all these other alternative ways to go about this. And none of them work. Like, they keep getting slapped in the face. The universe just keeps slapping them in the face harder and harder, throwing things at them, until they finally just, there are no more alternatives other than following their heart. Okay, so yeah, that's why they are depleted of energy. Now, because they are depleted of energy, that keeps them in a state of not being able to, not having the energy to actually act on what they want in a stronger way. Okay, so that's the downside. However, that same depression and depletion of energy is also making them see that they really want to untrap themselves and get out of this situation, get out of this commitment, like physically get out of it. Not just mentally, not just emotionally, not just energetically, no, physically get out of it. So that's what I mean by it being a little bit complicated, because this depression that they're going through is working in two ways, which might seem contradictory, but it's actually not. It's just kind of like it's a passive phase when you look at it from the outside, but from the inside, what's really going on, it's actually very active. All right, so that is what has been going on with the masculines in the past week or so. Time is relevant again, okay, so just keep that in mind. So moving on to the masculine's energy towards their feminines, we have first row, the 7 of Cups in reverse, the 10 of Swords in reverse, and the 5 of Swords. So what I get with this is that the masculines don't want to see the feminine anymore as this fantasy or as something that is just a dream, okay? Because for some of them, that's how they're reviewing the feminine, as something that's out of reach, something that they had wished for, and it's just a fantasy because I would want that, but I can't have that because, well, I'm stuck in this situation. And then for others of them, it was just complete denial, right? Confusion about how they feel. Either way, whichever one of the two it was, they're out of that phase. No, they want it to be real. Why? Because they can't get over you with the 10 of Swords in reverse. And this has come up a lot of times. For a lot of them, they've tried. They've tried getting over you. They've tried to push you out of their mind. They've tried to block you. They've tried to repress their feelings, and it just never works. And it's like, not only that, they don't want you to be a fantasy. They also don't want to live this pain anymore. They don't want to just surrender to, okay, you know, I lost my feminine and I'm feeling this pain. It's like, no, there's a denial of that. There's a denial of it being over with you. And I do feel like for some of you, there may have been something that has triggered them in a way that has led them to this depression, or just that has kind of instigated them a bit to feel that regret. So with the 5 of Swords here, in many cases, I would say that this is a negative card. For example, if I see this for their energy towards the karmic partner, well, depending also on the other cards, I would say that it is negative. In this particular case, especially if your masculine happens to be a people pleaser, this is a very positive card, because this is the masculine wanting to fight for the feminine, wanting to fight for this, for it to not just be a fantasy, for it to not just be something out of reach. No, this is what I truly want. I cannot get over this person. I don't want this pain, and I am willing to fight for it at all costs. Putting themselves first, putting their own self-interests first, but when it comes to the feminine and to avoiding that pain of an ending, of it just knowing that they've lost you forever. Okay, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune, the 9 of Swords in reverse together with the King of Swords and the 2 of Pentacles. This is a shift. This is a new way of them thinking. This 5 of Swords coming out in this way that it's coming out is a new type of an energy willing to fight and wanting this to be a reality rather than just something that, oh, okay, you know, it's in the future. You know, maybe I will be with my feminine in the future. No, they have to fight for it. This is new. This is a shift. And the fact that we have the 9 of Swords right under the 10 of Swords, both in reverse. Again, the fact that they want to come out of that pain. Again, is just being confirmed. Together with the King of Swords, this is determination for that. Finding that willpower, that is what is new. Yes, they are depleted of energy, as I said, but they're still feeling this way when it comes to their feminine. They do know it's going to be hard. Fighting for you is not going to be easy. Or at least that's how they feel. They're still seeing it as something that, okay, I don't know how I'm going to get there, but what I do know is that I want to get there. Because of all of the stress and all of the pain that they are currently feeling. Okay, moving on to the Femmies here. So for you, we have the 8 of Cups in reverse, the World, and the 3 of Cups, okay, in the first row. So, okay, this is kind of interesting. It's a little contradictory here too, so I do feel like there is some mirroring going on between you and the masculine, in the sense of you feel like you had once, or at some point, emotionally detached. You felt like you were moving forward, closing out this cycle, but it's like you're finding yourself feeling like you took a step back, almost like you went back to where you came from. So it's like, I feel like that's where this fresh start is also coming into play. Like, you felt like you were having a fresh start. You want to have a fresh start. But then something happened, you were triggered maybe, and you feel like you went back to what you were feeling before. And I really feel like the message here is, you know, no, don't worry, that's okay. It's part of the process. You are still having a fresh start. You are closing out that cycle and moving forward to handling the situation. It doesn't mean that means you don't want your masculine, or although for some of you, it definitely could mean that. At the moment, okay, for each of you, it's different, but you're definitely still moving forward. Okay, that was the one message. The second message that came through here, and that was before I got the next 3 cards, is that it's a message actually that is more specific for a group of you. And the way it came through is that some of you might have the opportunity, or are having the opportunity, or maybe even had the opportunity, okay, time is relevant, to reconnect with your masculine, but before things were ready, okay? The message here for you is that unless you feel intuitively that there is a higher purpose for this reconnection, it's not going to be in your best interest to go back. Now, I just want to make something clear though. Going back and repeating a pattern, repeating a cycle, is different than just having a reconnection that is not taking you back to a previous cycle. That is possible. If you're not together, you can reconnect, I don't know, let's just say for a day, whatever it is, it doesn't even matter, even for a week, even permanently, and have it still be different than it was before. That's a different story. The message here is to be careful of not going back to repeating a cycle, okay? Then we had the 7 of Swords in reverse, the 5 of Wands, and the 3 of Swords, which pretty much just confirmed what came through with this top row here. And then it continued to be confirmed, so yeah. So basically, it's like if you go back to this cycle from the past, it's only going to bring you pain. Alright, if you go back to that, it's going to bring conflict and pain for you. If you're just going back to repeating a cycle. And not only that, I'm also getting that every time that you repeat a cycle that ends up having the same outcome as before, like it just ends in the same way as before, yes, it does help you progress. Yes, there is a lesson learned in that, but there comes a point in time where you are strong enough to not do that, but you might choose to. And it's like, yeah, okay, you're just delaying the process. It's okay, you're gaining something from it. But every time you do that, the next cycle of separation, it's going to take the masculine longer in that separation period to get back to feeling that discomfort that they need to feel in their lives in order to actually be pushed to do something. Again, I just want to really clarify, I'm only talking about if you go back to a cycle that you have repeated many times, okay, in the exact same way. If it's something different, that's a different situation. Listen to your intuition. All right, but that message came through very, very strongly for me with these 6 cards here for the feminines. Another message is that, yeah, you feeling this way, you feeling like you might feel like you took a step back, bothers you because you don't want to feel that way. You don't want to feel like you've taken a step back. And again, the message is, no, it's okay. You are having a fresh start. All right, so let's move on to what is coming up. So for the masculines towards their karmic partner or situation in the next week or so. So I got quite a few. I got 6 here. To start off with, we have the 5 of Swords in reverse, the King of Wands in reverse, and the 10 of Cups in reverse. Actually, they are all in reverse. I'll just call them all out. The Star in reverse, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, and the Knight of Cups in reverse. So what I'm getting with all of this is that basically it's like a major pulling back of their energy. To be honest, I don't see it as a huge step in the physical, which is why I'm telling you guys, if I could manipulate the cards, I probably, would have made this a little bit more interesting. But unfortunately, it's not crazy interesting at the moment, because I feel like for this week coming up, it's kind of like they're so depleted of their energy, still in this depressed mode. So it's kind of like they're resting, almost like recharging themselves before they can move to the next step, before they can take the next step. Like I feel like it's also this communication that they're having that is depleting them of energy as well. Like it's emotionally exhausting for them. And so it feels like for this upcoming week, it's like taking a break. But the good news is that we have the 5 of Swords in reverse, all right, for them towards their karmic partner in the energy here, which tells me that it is a giving up of making an effort and of fighting for this in the wrong way. Because there was, for a long time, they were fighting the wrong battle. Going against themselves, fighting against themselves in order to stay in something that was just giving them a false sense of happiness. Or they were trying to find that. It was just giving them a safety zone, a comfort zone, or satisfying some needs that are based off of their own insecurities or lack of self-worth. Whatever it was, they're giving up on that, on trying that. You can't find happiness where there is no happiness. You can't find fulfillment if that possibility of fulfillment is just not there. Okay, so that is what the good news is for them. And also, there's no hope, okay, with the Star being in reverse. There's absolutely no hope there anymore. And it's kind of like a pulling back in all ways, like pulling back emotionally, pulling back whatever it is that they were offering before. Like, I feel like it's just this, like, almost as if they are like a ghost is how it's coming through in the situation. Although it is very difficult for them to handle it though. Okay, 2 of Pentacles being in reverse, I'm getting it's a very difficult energy for them to manage. And again, I feel it's because of it being so complicated in that it's pulling them in 2 different ways. On the one hand, they're depleted of energy, so they feel like it's just like this, I don't know, I can't do anything. And then on the other hand, it's pushing them to want to get untrapped. So I did clarify the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and we got the Eight of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the King of Cups. So even though it is that difficult, trying to manage all of this, trying to really figure themselves out, it's still ultimately pushing them to work towards that determinism. It's like they're building up to that. It's a little too much for them right now to handle, to put in the effort, is what I'm getting. But ultimately, that is like the underlying current for them. It's working to push them towards being determined and to follow their heart, making a decision based on love. So again, like if you were to see this from the outside, it looks like they're not doing anything, but from the inside, there's a lot going on. Okay, so for their energy towards the feminine, we have we got the Ace of Swords in reverse, the King of Wands in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, and the Knight of Wands. Give me a sec. I'm trying to remember them, because I know there was a specific message that came through with this other than what I see on the surface, and it'll come to me. So basically, they're still kind of holding back here, all right? I don't see them taking much action, although, again, with the Knight of Wands, I do see them, for some of them, again, it's not going to be for all of you. For some of them, it's them coming in with this opportunity for a reconnection that you have to be careful of, okay? So again, I'm not saying for you not to interact with them. It's completely up to you what is for your highest good. Only you can know. All I am saying is be careful that it doesn't repeat an old cycle, okay? Just saying that again. Because we have the King of Wands in reverse and the Lovers in reverse. It does not mean that they don't love you. No, that is what they are also hiding from you. They're not being truthful at the moment. I feel like they can't fully express themselves and show that to you. But right now, they're still the King of Wands in reverse when it comes to this connection with you, right? So if they come forward, they're coming forward as this Knight of Wands. That's basically what I'm getting with this row here. It's for that group of you. And for others of you, it might just be the energy that they are holding. And then we have the Queen of Swords, the Four of Wands in reverse, and the Page of Swords. So there's a lot of clarity here about what it is that they have done. I mean, especially with the Lovers being in reverse and then the Four of Wands being in reverse, I feel like they are really thinking about the fact that they have broken this bond in some way. They feel like they have broken this bond, and that too relates back to that regret. And that's why, another reason why they are changing, metamorphosis, towards their devotion. All right, they feel like they have killed that bond with you in some way. Either because of the karmic situation or maybe even just a whole bunch of other things. And so they do want to do something about that. They do want to do something about that in this week. They will be thinking about that. I just don't see them actually doing something that's going to be substantial for now. And that's because, as I said before, they are resting. Okay, so I mean, they can't always be taking action, right, guys? All right, so I actually clarified the Four of Wands in reverse, and we got the Ace of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Tower. So it's, again, them having broken this bond or broken the trust or the connection with you. That is causing them stress as well. That is a part of their depression. As I said, it's a part of their regret. And they know that it was their own doing. Okay, they know it was their own doing. They're not sure how exactly you might feel for a lot of them. But then we have the Tower. So it's like all of this, they feel like they broke it. But I feel like a lot of triggers are hitting them right now, causing them to have this clarity, causing them to see this and to have that regret, pushing them towards a transformation. I feel like it's pretty much killing them. Just thinking about how this has progressed. And because of that, it's also in their current energy, right? Of feeling like they don't want to just accept this pain. They don't want this to be over. And that is, so I feel like it's like a continuation of their current energy, actually, in the next week. All right, so the extra message for the feminines here was the Eight of Wands in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse, and the Hierophant. So basically, again, I feel like it's a very similar message here. To just be mindful of an offer that might come through, of a communication that might come through, or of action that might come through. Just make sure that you are listening to your intuition for how to go about dealing with that, should that happen. And then also, for a lot of you, you feel like when you're having thoughts that this is not moving, as I said before, because from the outside, that's how it looks. When you have these thoughts that there is no movement, that is not your intuition speaking. You know the truth of this connection. And so the message here is to just, it's okay, of course, have that fresh start. Keep focusing actually on that fresh start, whatever it is for you. But even so, even if that means completely not even wanting this anymore and feeling like, well, even if they come back in the right way, I just don't want it anymore, that's fine too. But regardless, don't lose touch of your intuition for what this connection is, because that is something that is meant for you to know and meant for your life purpose, or for the way that you are living your life in some way, to at least be aware of that. Okay, so that is the message that I'm getting here for you, for the feminines. And a lot of you, of course, are doing that anyway. You are very in tune with your intuition, and you know exactly the nature of this connection and what it means for you and how you're supposed to be moving. So if that message isn't for you, that's okay. It's not for you, okay? But there are some people that need to hear that, is what I'm getting here. So that is it. We got one last card, which was the Oracle card for the final message, and we have to be fair. Okay, so this is justice playing out. Things are moving in the direction of justice. Things are balancing out. You just can't see it from the outside. Okay, so justice is playing out here. The karmic cycles, they are closing. And I feel like everything is moving in the right direction, even if it doesn't look like it. Yeah. All right, guys. Please give me a thumbs up if this resonated. Let me know in the comments if you're feeling any of this energy from either side. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you guys soon. Much love.